Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Good morning. We're waiting for the CPI report. We can see here in Treasuries, we had a slight move up, and then we have returned back to about where all of the mud was yesterday. Kind of interesting, but yesterday was extremely range bound. And it appears that this CPI report that is coming out in about 12 minutes is just such a critical event that nobody can look past it. So, yeah, if this comes out and it's like 2 or above, I'm just gonna straight up. Oh, actually, oh no, that's German. Where are we looking here? Yes, USD CPI. So month over month, it's 0.2. So if we get that higher, I'm just straight up market selling it. That's the plan. Anyways, I'm just going through things. Yeah, up a little bit. Here in the E-mini, we came up a little bit. So that's good that they're both moving upwards, because the market is really, really scared when we get down here. So, Bitcoin, I need to alert you to a couple of things. And we'll probably have to go over this like 1 trillion times, because I don't think, well, hold on. Let's pass out the links first. That way, maybe we only have to go over it once or twice. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I wanted... my channel. My channel. It's my channel. There we are. Okay. And I've got to update this. It's the 14th day. Oh, by the way, happy Valentine's Day. Exactly. Always the first one in. There we go. And this one. Okay. So, as I was saying, make it big. Look at this period right here. 84.50. They sold, let's see here, from 346 to 391. So almost 50 contracts, about 40. This was 94, right? I don't know. I'm too lazy to do that kind of math in my head right now. But a lot of contracts in the CME futures sold into this area right here, and price did not get below 84.50. If you look at the cash, let's pull up the cash really quick. What? Here it is. BTC, yes. Okay. 84.50. See that? That's the price level right there. 84.50. 84.50. See, they went below it in the cash exchange. They went below it, significantly below it in the cash yesterday, and they did not in the futures. Yeah, just hit a wall, and they sold it the whole time. There was all these robots saying, "Hey, the cash is going down. We should sell it." there was an iceberg here. And we went and we looked at it, and there was actually like big lots there too. Big lots being like 3 or more. So this is an iceberg buy right here. Now look at this. Look at here. Did it again overnight. And these guys lost. We had a pretty good move there. Yeah, that's a stop run, my friends, for sure. Especially, you notice here also. So here was the block buy area. 84.50, right? Higher high, they hit it back down. They were very desperate to keep it down, and it just blew them out right here. You can see the stop run. And then as they saw that it still had support, there was a big buy. And if we go to the 6-hour chart, this buy, you were starting to pick up a little bit of volume. It's not a ton yet. And we probably need to get above this 95 first. We're headed right for it though. If we broke through 9,500 with volume, that would be the confirmed cup and handle that we've been looking for. Which would mean a move up to potentially 1,800. Pretty cool. Does that make sense to everybody, what we're seeing in here? So I think pretty significant thing that we saw in the futures. I actually put a note out about it on Steam It. They got a few votes. I also put it on the RBTC subreddit, and they downvoted me to 0. Too bad for them. I guess they missed out. Let's see. Let's look at the comments now. I got home, sat down, put on headphones, and my Bitcoin trigger went off. And I'm in Tel at 39 Satoshi. Nice. And where is Tel right now? There is a cleanup channel on your 6-hour chart, so I'm expecting a hard push down at some point. Well, yeah. I mean, I think that they need to. They still need to get above 9,500, and then for sure some selling will come in. And I wouldn't be surprised if the next line of selling was in significant, 10% or more. Enough to scare some people, but not enough to make a new low. Yeah. Let's see if we can get financial juice to work, because we got this big number and we really want to hear it. And eat some food before it happens, so that we're focused.
Tucker said GM all. Good trading today. Got a couple minutes for one last nervous pee.
10 seconds.
Okay, that was weird because the sell came before the news came out.
False set up 4K before open.
0.5,
Gonna
holy
be a good
shit.
day, smiling face with open mouth and smiling eyes.
4 index 255 spots.
Holy shit.
Retail sales month on month drop a 0.3%. Ex-auto gas drop a 0.2%. Control group we're average weekly earnings year on year 0.4%. Hourly earnings year on year 0.8%.
Unbelievable.
National Bank housing price index for Canada 219.19. The month on month figure comes in at 3%. Year on year 8.7%.
Look at that volume. 6,000, 5,000 being traded at every level on the buy and the sell. E-mini just got obliterated. Oh my gosh. Holy crap. It's so funny because
Tucker said CPI higher than expected, retail sales lower. False said, well, I kind of cheat. My futures start trading at 4:45 a.m. and close at 130.
Get out of here.
Alligator said L235.
If I can get that 275, I want that. Okay. Maybe not. E-mini's still going. Yeah. Somebody got that. Some people get that number earlier than others because that was a pretty big move before the number came out and then all of the volume came in. Jeez. Anyways, it was funny because yesterday CNBC was saying, well, maybe this number will be a dud because so many people are looking at it and the chances of it outperforming are actually pretty low. 0.5 versus 0.3, are you kidding me, guys? That's insane! That is like the Fed has to raise rates.
Said F250, what a wall.
This is just gonna keep going.
Fran said ES dropped 35 PTS.
Saudi Arabia is Farley saying the OPEC and non-OPEC.
Fran said, what was the CPI? Bloomberg not reporting. Fran said TKS.
That was amazing, guys. I've never seen so much movement on the stream, yeah. Right. The talking is from financialjuices.com. They have a
No Fed funds. Still 88.
yeah, 88%. It should be like 99% chance. Holy crap. The E-mini is not happy. Not happy.
Block sell.
Yep. Don't be a buyer, guys. Don't be a buyer. What did you mean by the sell was before the news? Well, if I bring this chart over here, it looks like we're safe. This part right here, the move that was on little volume when liquidity was still pulled, that happened a good 5 seconds or so before I heard it over the line. So I don't know if that's delayed or what, but yeah, it just goes to show that, like, you can't try and beat the robots on the news. But when I saw that move down, I was like, okay, it must be a really high number because they're immediately reacting to it. And my game plan was, I'm just going to market sell. And that's what I did. I hit market sell. So it worked well. I don't know if that strategy would ever be wise under any other circumstances, but today, after all of this volatility that we've seen, and we have a CPI number, and then the CPI number ends up being so much larger than expected. The thing is that we can go down now to the lows of last week. The most dire predictions for inflation that we had last week, and that wouldn't be far enough right now, in my opinion. I'm not going to close this. I only closed it up there at the top for a moment because I thought there was going to be a significant pullback that was going to come back to my stop. But then it turned out that right where I got out was the second opportunity. So that was a really big one too. You go back and look at that, about 5,000 contracts bought up into it. So that was all of the short-term guys that got in on the news getting out. That's when you want to get in. That is your after she goes. They don't always give it to you, but that one was perfect. Do you think this will have an effect on Bitcoin? Because I went long about an hour and a half ago. Well, you know, it's tough to say, but I think it could because, okay, so they haven't reacted too strongly on that chart. And on this 5-minute chart, where are we? They haven't come back a ton. I think in the short term, probably not. And I think that there's enough momentum in the trade and the technicals and the global stuff around that it might not matter. But at the same time, I don't think that raising rates is good for Bitcoin. No, because that means there's less money around, and, you know, the places that people are going to pull the money out of first is risk assets, and that's Bitcoin. So it's definitely not a good thing for Bitcoin, but it may not be that significant at the moment, at least. I don't think it's as significant as, say, you know, yearly trends and absolute valuation and that sort of a thing. Yeah, this is going to come back. This is going to have some wild swings, and it's going to be difficult to hang on to. But this is not even close to done. No way. We should see 126.5. Okay, so they came close. So down here, this 160 that we see there, that's probably the people expecting it to go beyond. The E-mini, now that's an interesting question. Now the E-mini may be bouncing here. That was wow.
Alligator said, "Why spectacular?"
I'm really happy that my everything worked out on that and that my plan was correct and everything, because you may never see another trade like that one, man. That was crazy. You notice another thing I want to point out on the DOM here. Notice how there aren't.
Alligator said, "Looks over, but I'm cautious." Was writing that LOL.
There is not a big order at the lows. See that? There are big orders past that. More than one big order past that, but not at the low. So I would say that probably means the traders do not expect that it's over. And when we haven't broken, it's gonna have, I think it has to at least go beyond the 160. I need to stop saying we should. There's a high probability. Last week was driven by expectations of inflation. Our expectations of further inflation just went up, so the probability is we could blow through last week's low in the 10-year. That's what I said.
Alligator said driven by ZF anyway, and it's a breakdown.
See, there's some profit takers here, but there's also people going short. There's just a lot of two-way trade here. So, I mean, that's good. The market's working well, but yeah, that kind of liquidity makes it very probable that the trend will continue.
Alligator said playing L195 could be only a pullback, but I want to be positioned L in case it breaks up, uncomfortable in front of this wall at 200. IQ said time to buy the uptick in ZB. IQ said TGT 16. Alligator said right.
Wow. Hey, Def Pluto, man, you really should have been here at
IQ
20
said the
minutes ago.
MKT is stretched bounce in the making ZB.
And they could totally come up to that 22 there. I mean, I'm tempted to try and play the swings here. But, I mean, think about it. 8 ticks in the green here. It could keep coming back and then take another huge push down. I have strippers on the webcam. Oh. He's saying that's why he should have come in earlier. He missed it. He missed the strippers. Anyways, I got a pretty comfortable position, and the trade is that we should break through last week's lows and extend a little bit further. So from my perspective, there's not really any reason to take it off. If it comes back up and it stops me out at break even, then I was wrong, and it's okay. I mean, I suppose true, you did miss out on a pretty good profit there, but
Fran said I
that
keep
wasn't the
trying
trade.
longs.
Don't do longs, Fran, please. Go short.
Alligator said still holding, but hesitating to F215.
Sludge, I don't believe we can hit 9,500 in Bitcoin before a short correction. I want to see closing above 9,400. Citing a couple of resistant points in the way. So I might be wrong about it getting to 9,500 first.
Sludge said. Sludge said last tome we tried.
Yeah.
Tucker said I think that 5K is a lot. Largest size we're seeing on the DOM so far.
I guess if you were really gutsy, the right move would have been to have shorted the 5-year, because the curve really flattened. Oh.
Alligator said F225.
Yeah, for some more food I should eat.
Tucker said Seth, ya gonna let that come all the way back to you? Alligator said ZF. Alligator said wow, CPI is not that strong IMO, but we'll see. Tucker said dude, your MFE was like 15 ticks. And now it's +4. Tucker said say you took your 15 for the most you could have had, and then it trends. You'll have plenty of spots to re-enter and take +4, +6, etc. Say you take your +15 and it chops. No harm, no. IQ said ZB moving nicely along money mouth face. Alligator said because huge margin for a pullback in ZF, makes a big move in ZN. Tucker said I'm not saying that you should have seen the bottom. Hell, I can't even see the price most days. What I'm saying is that you should have seen the R/R. Alligator said ZF 160 target ZN 270.
Well, I really should have taken the profit in there somewhere, but the only thing that I seem to be able to focus on right now is that today should be a trend day. So it's like, man, it's really slowing down here. And we did see a bubble there, so... Is it gonna break? Come on.
Tucker said Seth, what happens if you take that trade 10 times in a row, expecting a trend day each time?
Well, so on a number like that, if I take it 10 times in a row, I think that I would break even.
Tucker said maybe you hit it 5/10 times, or argument's sake. Maybe you get 32 each time.
Oh, I'd never get 32. I think this is the only time that I would ever get 32.
IQ said ZF.
I guess the thing is, how often do you get a 32 tick? Well, was that 32 ticks? How many ticks is this? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. How often are you going to get a 16 tick pullback? How often are you going to get more than an 8 tick pullback? So I probably should have taken it off when it came back on me. 8. But I think the probability of it being a trend day at this point is probably like 50-50. So like if I break even on it, but then I get 32 ticks the other half of the time. I don't know. It's kind of like a trailing stop question, right? Like, I feel like if you're in a winning, if you have a good position and you still think that you're right, you should let it ride, right? And you come back to you on break even, that's okay. You can just get back in, which is what we did.
Tucker said, and that's what I'm trying to say. It's unlikely to get even 30. On 5 trades, you've got 30*5 for 150, in the best case scenario. IMO, the better trade is to take 8/10 or 10/10, pick up.
Pick up 10 ticks each time and make a high probability trade. Yeah. Well, I could have taken it off. I don't know what the right price would have been. Maybe 18. 18.5, it looks like, actually. We did this and then we made a higher low. So maybe if I had been watching my tick chart. So if I had gotten out at 19 is probably where I should have done it. Then you would have had a chance to take it down again, for sure. No, I understand that. I guess my plan though was go short after the news.
Tucker said, tough to say the right
and
price.
Hold it all day.
I'd probably just throw up an order for +8 or +10 on a news day like today.
Yeah, maybe. Now it's coming back down, of course. So was it 215 was
Trade
125?
The trader said stop fishing / absorption.
Yeah. Oh, am I short an extra? I am. Oh, I got filled on both of those. You know, another thing, Tucker, is I think this is a case where having multiple contracts is a big benefit to you, because I could have had the one contract short from all the way up at 227 or wherever it was that I took that first one, and then I could try scalping the swings with the other contract, and then I wouldn't feel so bad if it comes back on me 16 ticks, and because I still took off one contract. Maybe. But I guess when I take that one, it's not necessarily a scalp. You know? At that point, it almost becomes a longer term trade or a swing trade, because I'm expecting it to go and break a new low.
In jobs.
Yeah, we don't need him anymore. Goodbye. that move back up in ZF looks awfully oh man, I mean, that's not a chart pattern that you see very often, where you get quick move down and wave up, and then maybe it'll go lower, I don't know, but that's kind of not good. Good or bad depending on which side you are. It's not good for longs. And guess the other thing is this when I said it should pivot at 22. And it didn't. I should have gotten out. It's funny because when we get a trend day, it seems to me like they do everything they can to stop you from writing it the whole way.
The trader said I'm looking for long.
They do everything they can to prevent you from writing it the whole way. So there you had an instance where they literally came almost
IQ
all the way back.
Range in ZF equals 10 day Ave 0 110.
So when I get these trend days, I always get scared out, and then I'm always like, oh, see, I should have stayed in. And we even had it a little bit there at the top where I was like, okay, I'm just going to take a tick and I'm going to look for another short here. And it was already going by the time I was clicking in. So it's not necessarily surprising that it came all the way back. And it could still go down and make a new low. So that's the kind of the question that I have for you guys is, do you think that it's going to make a new low? Because I kind of get the impression that you think it's over. And I don't. So if you don't think that it's over, at which point, how do you accurately play that so that you don't miss out on the risk reward, but you're still able to take advantage of it going lower? Get out, let it come back up, and then if it starts going back down, you get back in on the price that you got out at?
Tucker said I'm not really worried with whether or not it makes a new low. If we start trading 180/185, then the pain is obv lower. If it trades above 265, then pain is higher into 121-000.
Because see, I just could not tell that it was going to stop at 17 halves. And I could not tell if it was going to, when it was pulling back, then it was like, okay, this is a pullback. Where is the pullback going to stop? And I thought, by the time I started thinking about that, we were about where we are now, I think. And I was like, well, I think it should stop at 220. And then it got over 220, and then it said, well, it should go up to 24. See what I'm saying? So, like, obviously the mistake was made. Then it's like, how do you
Tucker said, I
recover?
realize that it's silly to say 10 ticker higher equals bullish and 10 ticks lower equals bearish, but I really don't see an edge in the middle of the range. People are stuck left and right.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, obviously the right thing to have done was to get out at 19. The right thing to do was, and I was not looking at this, but when we came up and we went down to there, it was like, okay, it could still go lower. When it come up and it touched the 19, that should have been my signal to get out. And I should have gotten out at, 19 half 20. That would have been the right thing to do. Then we came up to here and we're in a range. And I think it's not going to get past 220. So that would have been a trade where if I had gotten out, I might have gone short again and been wrong. Wrong pretty badly too. Maybe even wrong twice at the 24. See that? So it was just like I was wrong through that whole thing. And in fact, if I had done that, those two wrong trades would have canceled out my profit anyways. So maybe it didn't actually matter. But then I guess that's also a signal that should I have taken a short here? What's the risk reward at this particular point? Well, the risk reward doesn't necessarily make sense because it's equal, is what you're saying. And the probability is unknowable, so 50%. So I probably would have taken those trades and shouldn't have. This one, though, that I did take, and the one that I took originally are such high probability trades that, I mean, if you think of it as a swing trade, I think that for a swing trade of this nature, it's not necessarily terrible to let it come back on you that much. As long as it doesn't hit your risk and you have your risk reward set appropriately.
Alligator said leaning on LRN but looks like a decision point, could go anywhere. Both theses look valid to me.
Interesting. Well, I'm definitely blinded by my larger thesis here, right? I think that we just got a really good CPI number, and expectations for inflation have risen significantly, and that we should be hitting the low of the year right now. That's what I
Tucker
think.
said sure, but are you a swing trader or a scalper? Regardless of your answer, I still think that giving back that many ticks is a losing proposition over a large sample size.
Yeah, I'm all sure. Well, it's not necessarily a losing proposition because we didn't let it come back on us past our entry point, right? It's just that if we say that it's 50-50, you're basically giving up half of your profit. Although I think that the probability that we make a new low is a little bit higher than 50-50. I don't know. I mean, you're right. It's just a question of going back through my thought process at the time and saying, how can I not do that next time? What is the strategy I lean on to avoid that? Higher high? Swing that's higher high. I think that one's a good. Is it okay? Okay strategy.
Alligator said I'm opportunist. But I'm with you on this, IMO money given back or not taken is as important as losses avoided.
Yeah. Okay. So the E-mini is opening.
Tucker said I'm not
higher.
Profitable yet, so maybe I'm wrong. I don't think it's about strategy as far as charts or whatnot, but strategy as far as making money. Why do you want to give it room to see new?
Oh yeah, Tucker. So that's the other thing that I think I did wrong, was that I should have said that when I've made 16 ticks on this trade, I should have gotten out. And I made 4 ticks on the first leg. And then I had made more than I had 15 ticks favorable on that one. So I should have taken it off at 12, and I was not paying attention. Absolutely. And that maybe that's the real one is there's a certain point at which I should just take a profit. See, I was saying to myself, well, if I can get a 32 tick day, I've already had 16 tick, but I took 2 on that too, which is not won't ever happen. I mean, where I'm at in profitability on this demo account, I can trade 2 contracts, but when I start again, I won't be trading 2 contracts, so I wouldn't have put 2 in there. Should have canceled those. But since I had it and it was like +4, it was like, well, might as well. But +16, I think. Is it more than that? I have to go back and look, but there is a certain definite drop off at a certain point.
Tucker said, speaking of which, when are you going live? Congrats in advance, BTW.
Okay. So here we are at 19. This is where we're saying I should automatically take a profit. Or at least I should move my stop, right? So the numbers are all a little screwy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess another thought is it's kind of pointless to say what we should have done in this particular situation just because this is never going to happen again. You're almost never going to get a move that strong.
Tucker said, consider the R/R. The play is definitely seeing new lows. How many ticks is new lows for you? Or
Yeah.
10. Whatever that number is, I'd say it's silly to allow it back against you that many.
Okay, so here is where if it ticks up again, I should probably get out. See, they're going to do everything they can to make it seem like it's not going to happen. You already see it. But cumulative delta says it's going to happen. After this, let's pull up that harmonic, well, not harmonic, but range chart. And let's look at it and we'll say, okay, if you're going to have a trend day, it's still going to get, you're still going to get like 15 ticks and then it's going to pull back. So you should just take it and wait for it to pull back. And not worry about that it's going to go down later, because you're almost certainly going to see a pullback before that happens. But then there's still the problem of I would have taken trades at 22 and 24 and been wrong, so I don't know. I guess what I'm saying is that if I had followed my strategy the way that in my head I think it should have been done, it wouldn't have made a difference. So what is it that I need to change to it for it to have made a difference? The only thing that I think that I wouldn't change about this strategy overall is that short at 22, 24 probably I shouldn't take. Which also meant that I shouldn't have been looking for it to pivot there. And I guess we're kind of in the same conundrum right here because it has come up significantly. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4-tick pullback. And it seems unsure if it's going to go for a new low or not. And I think the probability is that it's going to go for a new low. But it's maybe 55% right now if it will go to a new low or
Tucker said I want to get short to see the lows. Tough thing is that there's tons of offer pulling.
Yeah. Yeah, there is. ZF hit new lows. You see that? Look at that. Look at that spectacular breakdown. ES actually made it back to VWAP. Surprisingly enough.
Tucker said LOL that poor 8 lot who puked.
Oh yeah, the one down at 09.5. You'll be okay. It'll go below him probably. Man. Well, this is good experience. You not get many opportunities like this. Is it gonna... Oh no. Why did it do that? That was weird. I hate how when you go over a window, it like makes all the other windows down so that you can see where that one window is. Like it's a Windows 7 thing. And so sometimes you guys will see the whole screen goes white. And I don't have like a real desktop background. I just have it white so that if there's like a line here, I can see it clearly. And because I'm super anal about my windows being all neatly packed together like that, you know? Anyways, what were they saying? Malevolent Freak. How do you like this candle in Litecoin? I spotted Litecoin going up at 0.19 this morning, but didn't buy. I don't move. The one in Litecoin is, well, let me look at my chart here and just double check. If I remember correctly, this is a take your profits. Litecoin. Let's not take up the whole screen, please. Thank you. Okay, so my reading in Litecoin is to take a profit. I don't know if that's the right thing, you know, because clearly when you look at this, we've gotten some waves here and it did go higher. But my reading is that move up in Litecoin was significantly out of line with what it should be doing based on underlying transaction volume. Or that move up was significantly out of line with what intrinsic value is right now. So probably not what you wanted to hear, and I'm not saying you should sell it. I'm just telling you what my indicator says. Or my reading of the indicator. Where is, oh, there it is. Okay. There's a couple like that. You know what's another one? Bitcoin. Somebody is pumping the crap out of Vertcoin, and people don't use it. If any cryptocurrency out there is poised to prove me completely wrong, it's Vertcoin. Because when I look at that chart, I just don't like it. I see these huge spikes, and it doesn't really have much use. It doesn't really have an ecosystem. It just seems to me like Vertcoin only goes up because there's a bunch of people that are significantly invested in it trying to pump it, and not because it has some fundamentals that make it good in the long run. So I don't like Vertcoin, but you know, it's had some good runs, so I could be wrong. So there you go. There's the new low. I said below 160. So are we seeing stuff show up below us? Okay, so right now we get the 1440. And notice that there was a lot down here that pulled up to 1440 even in ZB. So maybe it. But I say based off of the fundamentals that it should go lower than last week. And we are not there yet. Or we are right at it, actually. And I think that we should just straight up go below it. We should just straight up go below it. 17. So now we're coming back here to this 19. See, so that 20 is the one that seems to be like holding it. I am seeing some bubbles. Yeah, I'll at least take one off here. How about that? Oh, 29. Okay. So what did that give us? Oh, where is it? Here it is. 375. Sure. Oh, and see, now I'm immediately regretting it. Oh, sorry. I've spotted Litecoin going up at 0.019 this morning, but didn't buy it. I've been shilled Vertcoin since the very first day I entered the market. It had a lot of time to accumulate, and no, I don't have any Litecoin. That's too high for me as well, but this is basically a new all-time high for Litecoin, is it? Is it really? The Litecoin thing also kind of bothers me because I don't feel like Litecoin is that great of a coin on its own. I don't, for instance, think that Litecoin is any better than Bitcoin Cash. And I kind of feel like it only gets pumped because its association with Bitcoin Core. Like Bitcoin Core says, oh, just use Litecoin for now. And then at some point, they will either kill Litecoin or, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't feel like that the Litecoin and the like super long-term trade is a good trade. I think people are going to look back at Litecoin and be like, well, what were we thinking? This is the only one of the major coins that I'm not super into, because I'm into Bitcoin Cash and I'm into Ethereum, and I would buy some Bitcoin, sure. I don't have any actual Bitcoin at the moment, but you know, I would buy some Bitcoin and just keep it at Coinbase for sure. I didn't think that I was already had enough exposure to it through the other instruments. Okay, so now that one was a higher low again. So there was another comment there. What was that? I didn't see. Seth, did you see my post in Discord 2 or 3 days ago about Bitcoin private mining? I actually did not see that. You're gonna have to link that to me again. I'm sure there are some smart and rich people behind Tether and Bitfinex, I'm sure, but I'm not going to speculate on things without a well-funded reason. Oh. Yeah, no. I missed this whole bit about Tether. Bitfinex is launching their own coin too. It's some kind of proof of trade. The more you trade, the more Nikar you get. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, whatever you do, please don't keep them on Coinbase. That's like the worst option out of all of them. Okay, so maybe if I'm going to buy Bitcoin, maybe I should keep them on Gemini. I mean, this is my only choice. It has to be somewhere where I can exchange it for cash. Yeah, I should probably
Alligator
get some
said
new.
nice. THX for the target BTW. So far it seems they like it. Seems well absorbed, not sure as can have lower prices, could be back to WAP move.
It's kind of funny because we're all sitting here talking about that. I could have made $500, but it's still my most profitable day ever in the 10-year. By far the most profitable day I've ever had. 375, that's crazy. Oh yeah, I have to post this thing that I got. Post. Okay. Getting a bit of a head and shoulders pattern in Bitcoin, by the way, but it doesn't have accompanying volume, so I'm not too concerned about it. There you go, it did go. Crazy, right? Yeah, right. This is just gonna blow right through this. So I'm gonna play the level break. Please, please, please. Nope. Too bad. Can't get them all perfect, I guess. Oh my gosh.
Alligator said very weak bounce, Ears 160. Alligator said YLOL.
It's just random. It's okay. We'll wait for a pullback. This could go though. And now the E-mini is starting to do its. Now the E-mini is starting to. Fact. Let's just double check here. Make sure that we are. No. I don't want that. Put this over here. Oh. No, we can't have that. Let me put. How come the camera doesn't work today? Well, that sucks. No, we need to change this to be using the NinjaTrader ES. Count one, let's just say. Okay. Better.
Order pending.
No. Oh man, I'm so mad I missed it. I missed it. Oh, come on.
Order pending.
I can still take it at VWAP.
Order filled.
Okay. Whew.
Order pending. Order cancelled. Order pending. Order filled.
Okay. So we'll put our stop at plus
Order
100.
pending.
No.
Order cancelled.
Okay.
Order pending.
That went quite significantly below 17, didn't it? So the trade here is that the mini is going to fail the VWAP. Do you guys think Bitcoin private is a big deal? Seth, can you tell me how to place a volume stop order? Absolutely. So if you, in Jigsaw at least, if you bring up your trading settings here, and you can see this little number right here, that is the stop volume that you're going to place, and then just put auto in here. And then you can also, if you want it to, so that just places my stops. Oh, actually, I take that back. That one's not going to be a stop volume, is it? Unless I, no, it's not. That's not how I typically do it. Oh, you know why? Because I need to change this and have this be 4. There you go. Okay, so then I have to show you this over here, don't I? Is it strategy manager? Yes. Here. And I have a strategy ID. And I just say it's a stop with a volume of 400. So you can do it that way. Or, so on this one, I think, let's cancel this. You know what? If
Order
it's not like
canceled.
close enough in there, it doesn't show you. So if we come back here, so I think, is that what it is? And put it right
Order
there.
pending.
No,
Order
that's not it.
canceled. Order pending. Order canceled.
Oh, you know why it won't let me do it? Because this is the, I don't think you can do it with the link. That's the problem. On this one, though, if I put it here, yes, it does. So all you have to do is just make sure that you have a number in here. Put a number right there in the SV, and you should be good. So try that. Hun So Huang. No, you don't have to write a script. It's a feature of Jigsaw Day Trader. But yeah, it has to specifically be Day Trader. It can't be like the Ninja Trader or whatever. Okay, so our
Order
stop
pending.
should be there. Humidity's fighting here. Might get stopped out. Oh no, that's interesting. So Yemeni was looking at the top of that range. All of the bonds were like, oh, we're going to tick down. See that?
Order filled.
Okay, so we can stop that on that one. Oh, that ticked back up. I'm still showing the... Oh, I'm not even showing it. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry, guys. Yeah, so just to show you guys again here, you want to have an SV right there in this field right here when you click the dollar thing on InJigsaw. That's how you get it.
Rackley3 said, Seth, you are streaming black screen.
Yeah, sorry,
From
I fixed it.
webcam source, I guess.
Yeah, now the other question though is why is the webcam not working? Oh, and I need to make sure this is auto again. There we go. Okay.
Order pending.
There we go. The whole NinjaTrader bridge thing is not the best, is it? So hopefully we still get filled on that.
Order filled.
And it didn't put our
Order
stop
pending.
in. Oh yes, it did. Whew.
Order filled.
Okay, clearly need to back off this short for a bit. This is why we're doing it in a different account on the E-mini, because I'm not too great at the E-mini yet. Bum, 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 ba-dum, bum, bum. Sent a graph on Discord in the stream channel. Yeah. Oh, you're totally right. That is totally an inverse head and shoulders there. Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm still saying that it's more of a cupping handle, but I guess that works too. Okay, so what is going on? Why is the E-mini like
Anabolic
this?
said not good thus far.
Playing I again, target 220 or view up signs everywhere, downtrend broken on charts, etc. Show them. So I took it to -100s. But if you include the bond trades, it's different. And they were in different accounts. So were they? They were. Yes, they were. So. Jigsaw needs to have a filter to say which count to show. Filter editor. Oh. Oh, hold on. Hold on. I'm going to do this off screen, so I'm not blocking everything. Oh, very nice. Very good. So now that's our 10-year trades. And can we add another tab? No, but we could always just add another one. And this one, instrument name begins with E. Okay, so those are our E-mini trades. Those are our ZN trades. Oh, perfect. Perfect. I like it. Okay. Well, I'm super skeptical about this move up we've seen in the E-mini. Somebody was watching the stream and was like, OSS thinks that he can trade the E-mini, huh? Let's go prove him wrong. That's what happened. I'm convinced. It's a conspiracy. Okay, paying close attention to it now. ZF did have a target below us. And so did ZB. So we could still go lower. We could still go lower. Okay. So here it is. You see that 500 right there? In ZF? Happened here at this pivot too. Okay. Perfect. Yeah. You can have rising stock prices with rising interest rates. Thank you. I don't understand why the equity traders are so freaked out about this, but there's got to be something in their models that are wrong, because the history is that when we start raising interest rates like this, especially at the beginning, it's a good thing. We usually have good moves up. I don't think that all the selling is justified. I guess I'm not the only person, because the E-mini did have a pretty good run up there. Yeah, I think they're gonna have to test lower again. Look at that. That's interesting. Good deal. Yeah. Fighting it quite a bit there. E-mini just busted right through there. So now where is it compared to the news? We are right at the pre-news price in the E-mini. Still a lot of absorption on the offer in the 10-year. ZF hasn't really dipped yet, even though it's kind of given us a signal. It's down 2 ticks, but it should really take a couple of steps here. I don't know if you short that in the E-mini or not. You know, I'm kind of tempted to, but I don't really know, so I'm going to leave it alone. I was looking at an interesting report of the Bank of England about correlation between rate news and the surprise index, which basically looks at volatility in response to a single event. Spoilers, there's a lot. Yeah. So you're saying when we get things that have to do with their rate, that there tends to be a lot of volatility? Sure. Well, especially over the last couple of years, because the rates has really been what's driving things. Okay. Icebergs on both sides. Here it is in the 5-year. They were looking at the last 20 events, or the last 20 years. Okay, it looks like we may be losing here. Okay, it did get back up over 1,000. Okay, that did pull again. And yeah, meaning there are a lot of people, 20 years, there are a lot of people that behave very differently depending on what they think the monetary policy will be in the near future. Yeah, that makes sense. I think that's kind of what makes Treasuries a good instrument to trade, because you're basically purely trading that particular thing. How investors are going to react to changes in interest rates. Although I personally feel that the market cares more than it should. Because you're not going to see a very strong correlation if you did that study on the correlation between changes in interest rate and GDP, for instance. There's just so much more to the economy than the interest rate. And it seems like sometimes the equities markets care more about the interest rate than the other fundamentals that really have a big impact on GDP. Oh, that was a pretty good trade there that we took the 3. A good read. Yeah. Well, I'd say interest rates are now becoming a problem, as we've been letting it ride at 0% for a long time now. Well, how do I say this? The fact that we've been running at 0 for such a long time, shouldn't that mean that going back to regular interest rates shouldn't be a big deal? That it should just be like, oh, things are going back to normal, that's good. But no, Instead, it's like, oh, the only reason that anything good ever happened was because interest rates were low. And now that interest rates are low, I have to get rid of all of my money. You saw what I posted the other day in the bond channel, not the US bond graph, but the other. Yeah, well, you're talking about the one where we're kind of like right on the edge of a channel and they're saying that, you know, oh, we've come up, but there's a good chance that it's just going to bounce off of that. I don't buy that chart. I think we're going to go, I think that the interest rates that we saw last year, that's the lowest we're ever going to see them in our lives. Or at least for several years. Maybe we'll have another crisis that's just totally awful and I'll be proven wrong. But I believe that the, also, let me go to it. I can't remember what the name of the article was, but it was on Zero Hedge. And they were kind of talking about volatility and things like this. And the whole point of the article was a point that I think is very, very important. And it was, you cannot eliminate risk. Okay, you can anticipate risk, you can pass risk off to other people, but you cannot completely eliminate risk. And this is something that I believe is very true. And I think that most people that are in the markets that are traders would agree with this statement that you cannot eliminate risk. But the general public seems to be under this illusion that, oh, if we just, you know, set the regulations right and prevent the bankers from doing all of the bad things, we can just eliminate risk and bad things will never happen. That's not true, because someday a natural disaster is going to come, okay? Yellowstone is going to explode, okay? That's a risk, folks. It has the probability of it happening in our lifetime is actually pretty low, but it is a risk that exists out there. And if that happened, it doesn't matter what regulations you have or what you're going to do or what. People are going to lose money on that event. That's just life. You can't do anything about it. So the idea that you can eliminate risk is preposterous. But what we can do is we can protect ourselves. We can anticipate that it's going to happen. And that's why we have things like, you know, now they have the banks put money into a fund so that if any of the banks go under, the funds already exist for us to bail them out. This is brilliant, because what we're doing is we're planning that we can't always prevent this thing from happening, but what we can do is we have steps to take when it does happen so that the whole system doesn't just completely fall apart, right? So that it doesn't become systemic. Yeah. And so I believe that what's happened is because of that, the monetary system is much more stable than it has been in the past. And so the kind of crisis that we saw in 2008 is unlikely. It's not like it's impossible, but it's unlikely to happen again. So we'll still have panics and they'll still be big deals, but they'll be much more like the Euro crisis, where stocks come down and things look really, really scary and everybody thinks that it's, you know, the end of the world, but then at the last second it pulls out and everything is okay. And then a couple months later, everybody just says it was a pullback. You know, like that's a crisis now. So in my mind, this whole thing that like if we raise rates, that it's like this huge drag on the economy and the stock market can't go any higher, I think is just silly. The only thing that really matters is the growth number. And the monetary policy would have to be much higher than it is now to actually be a drag on GDP growth. That's what I think. This time, I fear we might get to recession time before the real economy has, quote unquote, gotten on a new high. Well, so first of all, the first question would be, what would be an indicator that shows that we haven't gotten on a new high? So obviously, equities are up higher, right? Maybe it's household wealth or something like that, because we know that the middle class is not making as much as they did before the crisis. Although that's been a, you know, that's been a what is the word? You know, that's been a long-term trend, and kind of gets offset by the you know, costs of things just going down in general, living costs going down. Yeah, I said real economy for a reason. Yeah, so that's the question: is what is the indicator that you would use for that? Would it be GDP output, or, you know? So that's the first thing. The second thing is that, you know, we have a real risk here where if we had a recession right now, you know, and we haven't normalized rates, what tools do the Fed have to pull us out of it? Would the Federal Reserve be justified in doing quantitative easing again? And can they really afford to do it, especially considering that we just increased the federal deficit by doing some tax cuts and adding a bunch of new spending and stuff, you know? You can compare it with the CPI. Okay. Yeah. I think there is crypto talk on US TV now. I would think that move up in cryptos is going to turn a lot of heads. That was, if I can bring it up here again, we'll see if they actually bust through that 93. But oh, that's a 5-minute chart. We need like a longer term chart. You know, when we look at this, the only move I see here that's really, well, I guess there was this one. There's this candle here. There was a couple of days right after the crash where we've had some big moves up. This one I don't really count because it was kind of a V. But you know, in terms of like a breakout, yeah, sure. In terms of like a breakout, that's like one of the strongest ones that we've had. And it is, I mean, look at the volume. You know, if this continues above 9,500, this is really bullish. It's really, really bullish. But we'll see. Interesting that bonds have not gone up again. Okay, so here is where I kind of want to double down on the whole short E-mini thing. What do you think? Yeah. Stop doing that. They're just doing that because it's moving that much.
Order pending.
Yeah. We'll see if that one gets filled. It seems to me like the bridge is slow. I would have to see how it's doing if I like sent it to my the demo account, but instead of like an internal NinjaTrader demo account. But that alone kind of makes me wary of using the bridge.
Order filled.
There you go.
Order pending.
So I think that the E-mini is going to go back to the VWAP.
Order pending.
Fair. That would be a good profit.
Order cancelled.
Dang. Wrong again. I'm just awful with this E-mini trade. Well, I probably need a bigger stop, but... So why is this showing me that I've got a profit here when I've lost on 3 of these? Oh, there you go. Oh, there you go.
Order pending.
Okay. Nope, that's bad. That 8. I don't...
Order pending.
I suddenly don't like this trade.
Order cancelled.
You just can't pick the same edges in the E-mini. Yeah, see there, it's gonna go through. They're like almost at the high of the day. Well, see, you see that? Xian, look. The E-mini is at the high of the day. Like, you're all the way down at this low where they were all panicking before, and the E-mini is at the high of the day. That means that you can go down now. You're totally free. They don't care anymore. Let's go down. Sent another graph, let's see. Oh, that's a Bitcoin channel. Yeah. Interesting that those kind of correspond to the channels of my indicator. Yeah. Now I should show it on the stream. He's just showing these up channels in Bitcoin. Okay. Curious. I'm just going to take this off just because. Actually, no. We do have a downtrend going. I think it favors us even though we're getting this battle here. Now, well, we wouldn't have gotten filled anyways. See that? No, you can put up more than that. Come on. Okay. Iceberg there. Yeah, something fishy is going on in the Bitcoin futures because they're selling this. Everything looks really positive to us, including this iceberg here, and it's going up. And I don't know if that means that people are making a huge bet or if somebody is really going long and absorbing and winning, and something's changed because this is different. Okay, good tick down finally. I'm gonna try this E-mini one more time.
Order pending.
Can we pretend that we got filled? Another good, reasonable tick down. But not much going into that. Come on. There we go. Well, darn. I don't know if this one looks so good anymore because ZF has popped up a little.
Order cancelled.
Okay. Pretty balanced here. You notice that
Sludge said if they are not careful they gonna get wrecked.
Yeah. He's talking about those guys in the CME Bitcoin futures. They've been going short this. They could get destroyed. Lisa, I want some fills. I'm starting to think. Just I'm looking at the numbers now. Not that the number of people watching necessarily matters, but I just, I like to look at trends, right? And I've noticed that the days that maybe it just is because, number of viewers declines over time after, we had a big meme or something that kind of got people's attention and maybe it goes down. So maybe it's that, but it just seems like now I'm doing well. Less people watching. And kind of as time goes on, it kind of goes down. But then when I'm like doing really poorly, it's like everybody's there. What's with that? Do you guys enjoy watching me lose? Is that the real deal? Maybe I should have like a second screen. Like I can get a second screen up here for like my real trades. And then over here in this other screen, I can just make like all of the dumbest trades I can possibly think of for your amusement. And I can do it. I'll pretend I'll say that it's my live account, but it will actually just be a demo account, and I'll do really poorly on it. That sucks, Snowfill. There's usually more action, market action, when you do less good. I don't know. I mean, there has been a few times where we had really good market action and I missed it. It did poorly, but I really feel like I do the worst on the range bound days. When it's slow is when I do the worst. I remember there was one day, I think it was like the first time that Rackley put the live stream on Steam it, and we had like a good 20 or 30 people watching, and the market wasn't doing anything that day. Maybe I'm remembering wrong. Like I have to be careful. I have to be like, because we can go back and look, right? We're probably all too lazy to go back through the hundreds of videos and find it, but like it's there on YouTube. Eventually somebody's going to be like, no. Look, see, this was that day. This is what you were doing. You're wrong, Seth. All right, lots of icebergs here. One tick, yay. I was hoping to get a 7 on that one, but the most it ever gave me was 4. I mean, currently not many people are watching the market, and it's easier to trade slow markets, in my opinion. I don't know. It's a tough one. The thing is, you don't need to make split decisions. Okay, sure. Yeah, a lot of people get uncomfortable in the fast markets. The thing with the tight market, like when we're all battling for limit orders and stuff, it seems like it's slow, but like, waiting 1 second to put your order on can really affect your spot in line. in treasuries, at least. And that slow market is so much more competitive because everybody's fighting for like even the teeny tiniest little edge that they can possibly find so that they can even make a tick. Versus a market like today, it just goes all over the place and people are like, well, you know, it went against me 8 ticks, but it's a really fast moving market, so maybe it's okay. And you can find, it's a lot easier to find a winner in there with that, as long as you're not trading against the trend. And so I find it a lot easier to trade trending markets for sure. But most of the people in the channel seem to be the opposite. So, yep, there's the 18.5 pulling. I'm going to see some stops here in a second. Yeah. Yeah, but most other people are more involved when stuff go wild. Yeah. Yep. Less likely to want to watch right now. Kinda interesting. But, you know, I like to just watch it do its thing because what we do here is pretty niche, right? Well, let's not be under any illusions. There's not going to be tens of thousands of people ever watching this. I'd be a little afraid if that started to happen. That would maybe mean we're in a market bubble. Yeah. And it's a slower market, maybe you get more viewers because they're not, they can, you know, they're not focused. Yeah. Anyways, and so it's kind of nice to just watch it grow on its own. And I kind of like, I mean, obviously I do my thing and I post about it when it's relevant, but I'm not gonna like go out and put money to advertise it or something because I want to watch it grow organic. Like I want the people that come in to be people that, you know, the right people. Yeah, it's more important to have the right people than lots of people. We want people that are interested in trading and are trying to trade and are taking it seriously, have the right mindset. Well, we are at the high here in Bitcoin. So they did make a higher high. You can see here. It did make a higher high. But it is not. Let's do 30-minute candles. It's not past 5,000 yet. It would be crazy if it did it on another one of these runs. I'm a little skeptical that's gonna happen. Oh, let's look at our Bitcoin cash chart because I was doing some crazy things yesterday. Whoa, yeah, it's a little crazy. So where was it that I was seeing it where I was like, what the fuck? It wasn't here. It was right here. Very good. Very good. Wow. Yeah, channels that get more views are channels that play on the sensational aspect. One day they are pretending all is lost, and the very next day they are going to the moon. That's for sure. Well, I was pretty sensational when we had that move, right? Is it crazy? That was some move. I am gonna go and post that one on. I think I'm gonna put it in the futures trading subreddit, and you know, I'm sure that there's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna watch that and say the same thing that you guys were saying. It was like, yeah, you kind of just let something come back on you 16 ticks. Embarrassing, but I was right. It did go lower. Huh? If I had stuck with it, and I had never moved my stop up because it never touched my -4 tick stop, I still would have gotten it. So, perfect example of where you can be right and you can be wrong. And you can be wrong when you're right and right when you're wrong. This is why, you know, I have this cynical attitude about reality. Like, people say Donald Trump does not live in reality. He makes up his own reality and tries to get everybody else to go along with it. Maybe some truth to that. But, like, from my perspective, like, reality doesn't matter, does it? Because it can just do anything when it comes to the future. I mean, obviously, over the long run, it matters. But in this moment, is it going to go higher or lower? It's 50-50. Even though I do well and I get a lot right, I'm wrong enough that I know that you can't put it all on one space. Because the one time you think you're absolutely positive that it's going to do something, you're going to be wrong. Okay, well, this E-mini trade is maybe doable again. If you pretend to be something, most people will just go along with it. Except on the internet. I don't know, isn't that so weird? Because from my perspective, nobody ever lets me get away with anything. I mean, get away is not the right word, because that would kind of imply that I'm like trying to get away with something, which is obviously not the case. I'm gonna say, like, now obviously the people in the channel are all pretty friendly and I feel like are with me, but like when I go and I comment in places, like when I comment on Reddit, I feel like everybody is always against me. I feel like I say something about the markets, like, oh, it's going to do this, and everybody on Reddit is like, you're so wrong, and they downvote me into oblivion. And then I end up being right. And I feel like it's like that for me all the time. But then I look at other channels, like the channels that Rackley is talking about, and everybody just goes along with their bullshit. I don't get it. I guess I'm just too much of a contrarian, I suppose. I'm just too there are things that I do that maybe make me not such a likable person sometimes. But I hope you guys enjoy this. If anything, I think this has been super educational, right? If we look at, let's see if I can show you guys now. What am I looking for? Ah, yes. Web stats. And we need to go back to the beginning of December until the end of February. Oh, we're not quite there. Interesting. Oh, yes, yes, yes. We do have to filter this to only ZN. Okay. That maybe helps. Ah, yes. Okay. So if I show you here, if, mind you, if we did the top step, or not even the top step, the one up trader combine, their small account, right? You win 1,500, you can't draw down more than 1,500, I think. Since December, we would still be going, and we would be awfully darn close, right? We are $110 off of passing the combine. Maybe I wouldn't have done as well if I was actually doing the combine. Oh, and you have to factor in the commissions. When we factor in the commissions, we are not there yet. But consider that is what, $100. It's 300. So it's still better for us to just go in live. That's the only reason. I'm pretty sure that I could pass the combine now. I just think it would take too long. Especially since with Top Step, you have to go through like that funded trader nonsense and stuff. No thanks. No thanks. Yeah, you want to see the other stats? Here. Oh, why did it do that? Let me fix it over here. There we go. There you go. Win trade's 49. I'm told that's really good, right? I think that those losses should be smaller though. I think that I need to have more break evens. I also think that my average losing trade being 41 is too much. I think that I would prefer that it's more around 31. And here my average winning trade is 43. So right now, it's just these really big winners that are getting me there. Which is okay. I mean, that's kind of generally my strategy, is kind of like I don't do so well in the choppy spots, but I do really well with the trends, so this kind of all makes sense. But obviously, the best thing would be to get those losing trades down a little bit, do a little bit better on those winning trades so that our average winning trade is maybe a little bit higher, and so that our profit factor is better. Interestingly enough, my average daily gain loss is 2 ticks. Less than 2 ticks. Oh man. Average hold time in a winning trade. 16 minutes. I guess I do have a winner that I held for 90 minutes. I'm going to guess that most of my losers are 90 minutes, though. Does it tell me any... Oh, yeah, I do. I do really well with that opening trade, probably because of news. That's when we tend to get the trends. And then you notice how as time goes by, I do worse and worse because it gets more and more range bound. And same here. Notice I tend to do better on Tuesdays because there's more news on Tuesdays. Oh, no, wait, those are trade distributions performance. Okay, there you go. Oh, that's interesting. So I've had some bad Tuesdays. I've had some bad Fridays too. Those were some days that shouldn't have happened. Where are we at now? Same spot, huh? A little bit higher. I still feel like the E-mini should go down. I don't know why I still feel like that, but when I look at the chart, I don't see a probability there, especially since we're above the VWAP now. But it does definitely feel like that we should come down in the E-mini. Close that. Yeah, because people like echo chambers, political beliefs, media, fashion. Like when I listened to that interview with the author comparing Bitcoin with right-wing extremism, and I wanted to shut it off multiple times, but sometimes you need to hear opposing viewpoints to temper your own bias. Oh, the winning trades percentage and losing trades don't add up to 100%. Where does the difference go? The break-evens. It doesn't give you a percentage of break-evens for some reason. Yeah. So the real answer there on that is that there are some losers that I am able to save and break even. And that's how it comes out. And if I can get more of those losers into the break even category, then I should be able to bring that average loser down. I could always increase my probability too. I'm getting better. A year ago, not even a year ago, 6 months ago. 6 months ago, I was having trouble hitting 40%. And I got up to, well, sometimes even 30%. Like I was doing like 30, 35. And then I got better and I got to 40. And then in ZN, I was doing like 45. And now, since I feel like I've really adjusted to ZN and I've been doing better, I'm hitting almost 50%. Sometimes it was up as high as 52% at one point, I think. But then I had a little bit of tilting. Tilting is still a problem. Not right now, but it's coming again, I'm sure. And we need to deal with the tilts better. Okay, well, I still really like this Bitcoin chart. Look at that. That is continuation, my friends. I don't know how likely it is, but we could see 9,500. Especially if, like Sledge said, if this stuff continues, So we've seen it. We've seen it where they've faded a move and then the next day it went down. Okay. They are fading this. If this doesn't go down tomorrow, there are a lot of shorts out there in the CME that are about to get wrecked. Wrecked. And we know that there is somebody on the other side of this that is long and is big. Big enough that they can hold the price like right there. Yeah. We have a trade set up. I thought when we had this move, this one right here, I think it was. No, it was this one right here. It took us above 8,700. I went and I edited my post and I was like, well, it looks like the trade already played out. I don't know if there's more in it or not. So, of course, we came back and we retested this area and then shot up again. And then we had a really big move. And there was still, you know, overall selling. So I'm going to have to say that the trade is not over because there are people to be stopped out. Yep, earlier on Discord I said I was trying to ride to 9,500. Okay. Well, I really think that if we well, you're probably trying to take advantage of much smaller swings with the margin, right? I'm guessing you're thinking 9,500 and then pull back maybe as low as 8,000 and then it taking off again. That's, yeah, maybe not. I really feel like if we get above 9,500, that is a confirmation of my theory that the push below 8,000 was just capitulation and shorts doing a short raid and was not justified by the fundamentals. And my trade, my bigger trade that says that we should go up to around 1,800 is still in play. Yeah, Rackley says yes, so he's still trying to play the swings. I'm still too afraid to do that. When I have like thousands of dollars having made off of this one thing, and then maybe I will go and take $100 and try and day trade it. But right now I still feel like, I don't know, there was an edge there, sure. But I still feel like that Bitcoin price movement is so random to me. Like when I do my buying, it's a little stressful because I just don't know what it's going to do. Well, you're like, oh, there's a good price. Oh, I don't know if it's gonna. Oh, okay, yeah, let's take it. No, because I don't. You know, we gotta go and the risk, and I think we should just take this price, and then it will go like lower. It's like, oh gosh, why do I even bother? It's so random. Just go in and pick one. It's like we're talking about a difference of like 5 cents to me. Anyways, it is time for me to go. I've yapped enough. Good day. What do we have on the slate for the rest of the week? That was CPI. So we're going to have PPI. Which will be interesting. PPI, and of course, oh, there's a Spanish 10-year bond auction. That's important. Unemployment claims, Fed manual. So we have some good news Thursday, and then Friday, what do we have? Oh, building permits, housing starts. Yes. Oh well, it's that time of month, isn't it? So good deal. And I don't know when we're going to start trading the live account. It just depends on when I deposit the money, but I want to wait. I need to do my taxes first to make sure I don't owe anything because I sold the house. I'm pretty sure they're not going to, but gotta make sure that one. And then we'll trade it live. All right, I will see you guys tomorrow. Enjoy.